Hello, everyone. My name's Alexis, and welcome to day 2 of Ignite Your Growth. I'm so glad you're here. If you don't have the workbook, make sure you click the link in the description box below to sign up for my email list, get the workbook, get emails for all the classes. If you don't have the workbook, though, today, that's okay. Just grab your journal and make sure you have 2 blocks as well. We're going to be using them for a pose later on in the class. Either way, whatever you need, workbook, journal, blocks, whatever, we're going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. So come to lie down, bring the soles of your feet together, and let your knees just relax, open. If this is a little hard on your hips, you can always make fists and kind of tuck them underneath your hips, or you can use your blocks and bring them to rest underneath your thighs or your knees. Either way, just find a open, receptive place here. You can close your eyes and just really sink into this very relaxing pose and bring your attention to your breath. Today's theme is forgiveness. If you've done yoga for any amount of time, you have probably heard a lot of yoga teachers talk about the importance of letting go what doesn't serve us anymore. And there is a rhyme or reason to this. And we're going to be exploring that today through heart openers and hip openers. We will be diving into why it is important for us to forgive and let go. I'm sure you've heard that holding a grudge does more harm for you than it does for the person you're holding the grudge against. In the end, that anger and resentment hurts you more than it does them. So forgiveness is important because for a number of reasons. One, it's fostering our ability to be kind to ourselves. It is allowing us to let go of energy that really ultimately doesn't do us any good. Holding a grudge and withholding forgiveness harms us by making us close-hearted. It makes us less kind. It makes us a less open and kind human being. Forgiveness is what allows us to see and honor the humanity of another human being. And forgiveness isn't saying something is allowed. It's not saying that the actions were right or not wrong. Forgiveness is just allowing yourself to be free of the pain of what happened. And that's what we'll be exploring in today's class. So go ahead and just take a few more deep breaths here and gently bring your knees together, hug your knees into your chest, maybe rock side to side, give your low back a nice massage. And then we're going to begin rolling like a ball. And you can bring your hands under your knees, behind your thighs, or you can try to challenge yourself and roll up to boat without holding onto your knees. The trick here is to roll up and not let your feet touch the mat. We're rolling right up into boat pose. And this is hard. If your feet touch the mat, that's totally okay, but try your hardest. Do one more roll and then see if you can roll all the way up into your forward fold. And if you can't and you have to walk your way there, that's totally fine. But either way, meet me in a forward fold. Rock back and forth on your heels. Relax a little bit. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. And then roll all the way up to standing. Inhale the arms up overhead and exhale, hands to heart center. Very nice. Bring your hands to clasp in a fist behind your back and just broaden across your shoulders and lift your heart up to the ceiling. This is a very baby back bend. You're just looking up to the ceiling and gently opening up your chest. Beautiful. Release. Inhale the arms down, around, and up overhead. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, plant your hands and make your way back to downward dog, however you like. You can just press back straight into downward dog. You can lower to the mat through cobra or chaturanga to up dog. Like we talked about yesterday, choose your own adventure, choose your own practice, and meet me in downward dog. Walk it out. just a little bit. And then inhale the right leg up to the sky. Really open up those hips. Beautiful. And then exhale, bring the right foot, plant it between the palms, and come on up into your high lunge. Your feet are hip width distance apart. So like on railroad tracks, your right knee is directly over your right ankle, and you're pressing into the mat almost as if you could rip the mat in half. Inhale the arms up overhead. And take several deep breaths here. Very nice. Exhale the hands behind your back, clasping them again, opening across the chest again. And again, you might not go very far here, and that's fine. We're just focusing on imagining we could separate the shoulders, separate the collarbones away from the other. Beautiful. One more deep breath here. And exhale, release the hands down to the mat. We're just going to heel toe that right foot to the right edge of the mat, coming into our lizard pose. You can leave that back knee up, or you can lower the back knee down to the mat and uncurl the toes. You can stay up on your arms. You can lower onto your forearms onto the mat, or you can have blocks under your arms or your palms in whatever configuration is most comfortable for you. We're going to be here for several breaths, so get as comfy as you can and relax into this pose as much as you can. Yogic philosophy says that our hip flexors, our psoas muscle, is the seat of the soul. It's where we hold a lot of our emotions, and this is where we have the most to let go of. So deep hip openers like lizard allow our body to release any pent-up energy or tension from grudges we hold, or people we haven't forgiven, or things we're holding on to and clinging to that aren't actually serving us. Our physical bodies are a clear reflection of our emotional state. Curl the back toes under, lift the knee, and just press back into your high plank. Make your way back to downward dog again, however you like. You can just press back into down dog, walk it out a little bit. Very nice. And then inhale the left leg up to the sky. Really stretch those toes up to the ceiling. Deep breath in. And then exhale, bring that left foot between the palms. And come on up into your high lunge. Set yourself up for success here, like always. Scoop your abs back into your spine, almost as if you could fuse your abs to your spine, and then lengthen your tailbone to the mat. This will help stabilize you in this pose. Beautiful. Continue to take some deep breaths. Exhale the hands and clasp them behind your back the wrong way. So the way that feels weird. And again, press your hands towards the mat and open across your chest. We're opening up our heart center, which is our heart chakra. That's the center of our relationships. It's where we love, of course. And the more we can open up our heart, the more we can let go of those things that we hold on to that aren't actually doing us any good. If anything, grudges just make us more closed off to the world. The things we hold on to so tightly often make us more afraid. Exhale the hands down to the mat and heel toe your left foot out to the left side of the mat for lizard pose. Same thing here. You can lower that back knee down, or you can leave it up. You can lower your arms or your elbows down to the mat, or you can stay up on your hands. If we ever want to make progress in moving on from things that have caused us pain, or recovering from traumatic experiences, forgiveness is a very important aspect. It's also one of the hardest. Because often we can feel that if we forgive someone for the ways that they have hurt us, or forgive ourselves for the ways that we've hurt ourselves, it's almost like we're letting them off the hook. But that's not the case. They probably didn't realize they were on the hook with us not forgiving them. There is more benefit to allowing ourselves to forgive, allowing ourselves to let go. And from there, we can truly move forward. Go ahead and curl your back toes under and make your way back to downward dog. I'm going through chaturanga and up dog, but you can get there however you like. Press back into your heels. This is your last downward dog of the day, so really make it count. Find some stillness here. Take one more deep breath in and exhale. Lower your knees to the mat. Sit back onto your feet, onto your ankles, and just bring your hands over your heart, left over right. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Oftentimes, hip openers and heart openers, like the ones we've just practiced, can bring up emotions. Maybe my talking about forgiveness brought up resistance or reluctance, and that's okay. Just take note of that. We're going to work our way up to Camel. So I'm going to give you a few different variations and you can work with which one works. For the first one, bring your hands behind your feet and just broaden your chest, just like we did in our lunge and our Tadasana with our hands clasped behind our back. Look up to the ceiling and allow your collarbones to separate and your chest to shine up to the ceiling. Breathe deeply here and exhale out. Now you can move back to that pose, or you can come up onto your knees. We'll do the next iteration. Bring your hands to your bum, almost as if they're going to go into your pants pockets. And just gently press your hips forward. Look up to the ceiling. And again, open your chest up to the sky. A very gentle baby camel pose, which is where we're going, is to full camel. Take a few more deep breaths here. And you can let your head relax behind you, or you can keep your chin tucked into your chest. Like we talked about yesterday, do your own level. Inhale and come out of it very gently. And for this next iteration, you might want to grab your blocks. I like to put them on the highest height, right next to my ankles with my toes curled under. And we'll start the same way we did with this last iteration. So hands on your bum, on your low back, like they're going into your back pockets, but then you'll release your hands onto your blocks, still pressing your hips forward. This is a little bit of a deeper heart opener. This is more of an assisted camel. Take several deep breaths here. And if you're still on with your bum on your knees, just opening up your chest, that's beautiful. You are still getting the same benefits. You are still opening up your heart. Camel looks very fancy because you have to be fairly flexible in your back for it, but the benefits are the same. So don't hold a grudge against yourself if you can't do full camel today. Very gently bring your hands to your low back and come all the way out of camel. Now, we can move into full camel with me if you like, or you can do whatever iteration you like. If you're moving into full camel, start the same way, hands to your low back, press your hips forward, and then you'll release your hands onto your heels. You can let your head fall back, and then just breathe here. You're doing beautiful. Camel's a tough pose. And wherever you are in any of those 4 iterations we've worked through, that's beautiful. Offer yourself some grace and know that you're doing a really good job no matter where you are. Heart openers are hard physically and emotionally. To come out of camel very gently and carefully, bring your hands to your low back, use your core, and bring yourself up to a straight spine. Wherever you are, come back to sit on your heels, bring your hands over your heart, and take a few deep breaths here. You just did a lot of hard work in your hips and your chest. Just take a minute for all of that to percolate. Beautiful. Take another deep breath in, exhale it out. And we're going to come onto our bellies, make your way onto your chest. And we're going to come into Sphinx Pose for our journaling practice today. Grab your journal or your workbook. And our journaling practice today is going to be a little longer than in the other classes because today we're going to be writing a letter to the person you want or need to forgive. This could be you if you feel there's something you need to forgive in yourself. This could be a partner or a parent or a friend or a family member, an old boss. Whoever it is, I'm sure something came to mind as we went through these hip openers and heart openers. But take the next several minutes and write a letter to them that you probably won't send, offering them your forgiveness. There's room in your workbook to do this as well. So if you have the workbook, open to that page and begin to write. Begin to wrap up your thoughts. Sign off on the letter, or just set it aside if you want to come back to it later. Set your journal or the workbook aside and press yourself up to a kneeling position. Before we move on, go ahead and just come into an easy child's pose. You can have your knees open or closed here, whichever is most comfortable for you. And just take several deep breaths in your child's pose. Take one last deep breath in and exhale. Gently press yourself up to a kneeling position. And this is where you'll want to grab your blocks. We're going to finish the class with our Shavasana, but instead of full Shavasana, we're going to come into fish pose. So if you don't have blocks, that's fine. You can always use a rolled up towel placed long ways down your back, like I had my blocks. If you have blocks and you're going to come into fish pose, bring one block so it lines up with your spine. This will go basically between your shoulder blades at your brow line, if you're a woman. And then the second block will go underneath your head. You might need to lay back and move around a little bit to get the right position, and that's okay. Just make sure it's mostly comfortable. Make sure you don't feel any sharp shooting pain. And you can have a few different options for your legs here. You can do Supta Baddha Konasana with heels together, knees out, like we started. You can have Ardha Shavasana with your feet planted on the mat and your knees bent, or you can let your legs go long. Whatever is most comfortable for you. We'll be in this fish pose for a number of minutes. Take another deep breath in and exhale out. And to very gently come out of your fish pose, bring your forearms close to your sides and brace into your hands, using your arm muscles and your core to very gently lift your head and your shoulders off the blocks. Come up to a cross-legged seat. You can set the blocks aside if you like. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale to look up to the ceiling, and then exhale, scoop your spine back to the wall behind you for a little bit of a seated cat pose, just to give your spine a little bit of a counter pose. And then come back to a nice straight spine. And for today's meditation, bring your hands face up in the lap. And we'll do another mantra meditation today. You'll repeat the mantra over and over again to keep your focus. Today's mantra is, I forgive, I let go. I forgive, I let go. Relax into your meditation, and I'll cue you out in a few minutes. release the mantra. You did beautiful work today. Take several deep breaths in and out through your spine. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes to bring your attention back to your physical body. When you're ready, inhale the arms down, around, and up overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart center. And blink open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me in this pretty challenging, at least emotionally, class. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. The rest of Ignite Your Growth is coming your way. And make sure you've downloaded the workbook. There are extra exercises, especially on today's theme of forgiveness in the workbook. So make sure you click the link below to get that. Until tomorrow, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye for now.